Our area's most beautiful properties deserve the finest realtors. Meeks Realty Group. We focus on buying and selling residential and commercial properties throughout the tri-state area. Contact Meeks Realty Group online at meeks.us or call 304-440-1101.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. 580 Live is presented by Thornhill Automotive and is broadcast live from the Parmar Stores studio. The country, the United States of America. The state, West Virginia. The city, Charleston. This is 580 Live. And your host of 580 Live.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Woo!
All right. Well, apparently we're on way early this morning. It's a good thing that I don't just walk through the door at the last minute, huh? It's 580 Live on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS from the Parmar Store studio. Piggly Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text is 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Parmar Store studio. If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. Stop by all participating Parmar locations between now and the end of the month and purchase a World's Best chocolate bar for only $1. And 100% of the proceeds from that will benefit the Children's Home Society of West Virginia. Also this weekend, Parmar wrapping up the Adelphia Summer Concert Series. Only a 90-minute drive, folks, from downtown Charleston. Enjoy some great music in Marietta, Ohio with Collective Soul, Yellow Wolf, and Wheeler Walker Jr. All there in concert this weekend. If you need more, visit parmarstores.com. And if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. We do the show, of course, from the Parmar Store studio. But 580 Live is brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group, including Thornhill GM Superstore, where it's Chevy season. Qualified buyers through GM Financial can get 0 APR on new 2023 Silverado 1500s and up to $7,500 off select lifted trucks. Visit ThornhillGMSuperstore.com or on US 119 in Chapmanville for all the details. Our good friend Delegate and State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin is going to be coming up on the show a little bit later on, but I want to welcome in Millie Snyder from the Shape Shop. How are you?
I am so wonderful.
Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you. And I think I texted you yesterday that I can't wait to get here to see your handsome face.
You did. You complimented me and said, because I texted you yesterday to remind you that today was your day on the show, and you said, I can't wait to see your handsome face.
Thank you very much.
I do have a handsome face, don't I?
You do, actually.
For radio.
For radio, it's
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Well, what was that guy who used to do the news? He said, I'll see you on the radio.
I have heard a lot of people have said.
But I can't remember his name.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
Interesting.
I have to look that up. Got a little bit of an early starting this morning. I don't know what some technical issue, but you're here, I'm here, so here we go.
Well, I have some I always have wonderful news, but among the things that I'm very excited about is tomorrow we're adding a new class for our Mediterranean group, and we have a name for it, by the way. It's called Fix It with Foods.
Fix It with Foods.
And that's what we want to emphasize, that the problems that so many of us have, if we learn how to change our eating habits, we can fix the ills that we have in our body. Medication isn't the answer. In fact, one of the articles that I shared with my group last Thursday night was simply that you can learn more at the grocery store about your health than at the doctor's office. And I want to make that point even stronger if people, want to hear that. And so we have had an evening meeting, and we still have that evening meeting, but as of tomorrow, we are adding a morning session, and that we're going to start at 9:15 and begin talking at 9:45. And that's at 706 Central Avenue. It's inside the building for Shape Shop, but it's in a separate room.
Okay. So give us the whole idea behind the way these things work. I mean, you come out, you just talk to people, you do demonstrations. What exactly goes on there?
Support. We don't do demonstrations, but we have a personal weigh-in, and we keep track of the great progress that so many people are making. In fact, I have one lady who's lost over 70 pounds.
Really?
And her health has improved almost like it has skyrocketed. And her doctor says to her, listen, whatever you're doing,
Keep
don't
doing
stop.
Keep doing it.
And her diabetes is under control.
So give us an idea of what it is that she is doing. I mean, I
She's
know it's
eating
food,
healthy food.
But okay, give us an example of
And
that.
the food that she's eating is unadulterated.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have chemicals and preservatives. It's fresh, clean food. And that's what Mediterranean is based on. Because when you think about it, all the countries that surround the Mediterranean Sea are the kinds of countries that don't Americanize their way of food shopping.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go to the market on a regular basis. They don't have ginormous freezers in their houses, and they have to buy fresh food. Well, that way of eating has come to this country, and there's a group out of Boston called Old Ways, and they brought the concept of Mediterranean eating to our shores back when I said 1993, and I became aware of it, I guess it was around 2015. I had already sold Weight Watchers, and I had just about finished the fact that I couldn't do anything in the industry for 3 years, which is a non-compete standard thing.
Yeah.
But I needed to do what I've always done, which is help people help themselves.
You have a need to do that. That's
and
that's why you're here.
And I love that. It's a wonderful thing. And it's been a wonderful thing for me for 54 years that I'm in West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I came here. You weren't even born yet. I came here in 1969.
No.
And so when I...
1 year later. I was born 1 year later.
Oh, thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
And so I decided that before I can represent something, I need to go on it. And I did for about, I'd say, almost 5 weeks. Mm-hmm. And it was a remarkable discovery. I've been eating healthy by Weight Watchers for a long time, but this took it to so much of a higher level. And that's when I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to reinvent myself. And I started out calling it Millie Snyder Succeed. And we did that for a few years. And then we transitioned into the name Fix It with Foods, which makes the most amount of sense. You can fix the problems in your body if you know what to eat.
Right.
And what to eat is clean, fresh, delicious food. Most people who live the Mediterranean lifestyle eat better than they've ever eaten. And, I had a new member last week, and when she saw on the vegetable page that potatoes are a vegetable, she hardly could wipe the smile off of her face.
Because potatoes aren't the evil thing that a lot of people, a lot of different, I hate to say diet plans, but a lot of health plans or whatever, or lack of, that you're told, these are, but the potatoes are absolutely out. And that's not the case, is what you're saying with Mediterranean, right?
And no, absolutely not. And bread is allowed, but good bread. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking.
What is good bread?
Oh gosh, sourdough bread, rye bread, a pumpernickel, whole wheat bread, but good quality whole wheat bread, where you just know that it's the best thing you've ever put in your mouth.
Yeah.
We use in our shop, we use Dave's Killer Bread when we make paninis, and that is
good bread.
And when you eat a panini or just make a regular sandwich on that bread, you're satisfied, you're full. If you eat white and rich bread, they took all the good stuff and they gave it someplace else.
I want to ask you about this, Millie, and just this is kind of a difficult thing to get into, but in America, we don't necessarily promote healthy eating, and we know that. You said you talked about Americanizing, but somebody texted the show, and I think this was maybe last month or the month before, but it was after you had already left, and it just kind of occurred to me for some reason, is that, we can get on the radio. You come on with me once a month, and we talk about these things. But unfortunately, the way it is, if someone is on a limited budget, healthy eating in some cases, and you can argue this if you want, you can refute it. I'd like for you to actually, is that healthy eating is expensive. And one of the reasons why it is that, and I know this sounds like the most horrible thing in the world to say, but I stole this from a comedian, but it's actually true. America may be the only land in the world where the poor people are fat. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror when I say that, all right? So just so you know that. But that's kind of where we are, because the bad stuff for you is cheap. And that's why people go there. So how do we fix that? How do we make it more healthy for people that would like to eat healthy, but they just simply can't afford it?
But I would like to show people how they can do it with beans, with fruits. And I'm not necessarily saying the most expensive fruits, because I understand the concept, I understand the difference, but I can show people how to do it on a very low-cost budget.
Okay.
That you could buy a chicken. Now, of course, there's a lot of us have large families, but I can show you how to do it with chicken, beans, and canned vegetables, some frozen vegetables, and it doesn't have to be the creme de la creme, which means the top of the food chain. Right. And I would be thrilled, honored, in fact, to have that opportunity to work with a group of people and show them how to do it.
Because
you can do powdered milk. It doesn't have to be already liquefied.
Okay.
There are ways that we can have the best of the best, but a little differently. Okay. And I would welcome that opportunity.
And in West Virginia, West Virginia is the oldest state in the nation. As far as what the average age is, we're the oldest state in the nation. We have a great number of people that are on fixed incomes, yes. Whether they're older or not. They're getting governmental assistance or something like that. And that's what I think the whole concept behind this text that I had received from someone said, hey, a lot of people in West Virginia would like to eat healthy, but unfortunately, they, as I said, they just can't afford it. But you're saying that it can be done, and you can teach them how to do it.
And I would like
What kind of costs are there for these classes that you...
Well, by the way, just to start, it's $25.
Okay.
And then it's $12 a week. And then there's a discount program on top of that.
Okay.
The object is not to make money.
Right.
It's to help people help themselves.
Okay. What else you got going on?
Well, I just want to tell you that our tiny little restaurant at Shape Shop, and you visited us many times. We are busy every day for lunch, and it's exciting because more and more people are discovering the quality of our food. We had a whole crowd in there yesterday, and two gentlemen ordered the salmon, and I know you've had that.
Yeah.
And when he finished eating it, he said, I just had the best salmon I've ever eaten in my whole entire life. So it's very gratifying that people are, in fact, finding us at 706 Central Avenue.
It's not hard to get to. Plenty of free parking.
Oh, there's no cost. There's no meters. There's
You park right. If you can't walk far, you can park right in front of the store.
Right. And we also have a handicap parking space. We also have a handicap entrance. So I'm excited about that.
All right. I got a text here waiting on you.
Oh, good.
Somebody texts and says, Millie, my wife has kidney issues and high blood pressure. Can your lifestyle help her?
Absolutely.
Okay. In what ways?
Absolutely. Well, but first, number one, I have to be able to have her come in, and I need to teach her the Mediterranean lifestyle. And I will show her how changing the eating will help that blood pressure come down. And hopefully, by putting in the healthy foods, her kidney disorder, and of course, I'm not a doctor.
Yes.
I'm not a real doctor.
Right. Nor do you play one on TV or radio.
No, I don't. But I believe that healthy eating can have something impactful happen with her kidney disorder. Okay. Now, I cannot make the statement publicly that, yes, we will cure everything. What we can do is help some of these maladies get improved, become improved.
Okay. And we also want to reiterate that when you come over to the Shape Shop, it's not necessarily, you can come there and you can have lunch, you can grab, I've eaten there many times, as you said myself, but you can teach people how to do this in their own home. You have plenty of books, you have plenty of literature that they can take home with them.
I've written a Mediterranean cookbook. I have a meatless cookbook. And by the way, if people buy the meatless cookbook and they don't like the meatless meals, they can add chicken or they can put whatever they want in it. Because meatless is certainly a wonderful thing, but people need to discover that. And that's another thing for low budget living and what you can afford. The meatless concept is a wonderful way to change your eating.
With the Mediterranean lifestyle, can you eat red meat?
Occasionally. We don't do it like I used to do it in my younger.
What's the biggest problem with red meat? Because I'm a red meat eater. I'm a steak eater.
High fat, saturated fat.
Okay.
And that fat stays in your bloodstream. So all of those things.
Okay. All right.
And pork is not recommended. Have you seen a skinny pig out there?
Well, not a healthy one anyway.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. So where are you going to be out and about? You're always going somewhere. You're always setting up shop somewhere. Any places?
Yes, we're going to take the food truck out in the month of October Every Wednesday, we're going to be at Slack Plaza. And there's a new car show that's going to be coming into Charleston on October 14th. But the unique thing about that car show is the cars are going to be set up with things to help disabled people be less encumbered.
Okay.
And it's brand new.
Okay.
And there's been car shows here forever,
Sure,
but
yeah.
this is a whole different concept.
Okay, we'll look into
and
it.
that's Saturday, October 14th.
Okay.
And our food truck has been invited, and we're going to show up.
All right, good stuff. Give us the address, give us the phone number. You're available. You have a great social media presence out there. The website, give us all the stuff for
Well, the
Shake
social
Shop.
media presence is a gal named Tiffany Grayley, and she does a great job with that. 706 Central Avenue, and it's just a little bit past Five Corners. Now, some people say they can't find us because they don't know where it is on the west side. But for all the years that we were at Patrick Street, that was the west side. But we won't have that discussion. But anyway, we're very,
It is very easy to find.
Yes, it's about a long block and a half past Five Corners. And that's where Central Avenue begins at Five Corners.
And it's you got plenty, as you said, plenty of free parking, handicapped accessible. Park right on the street. There's no meters. It's just very easy in and out. And if you're looking for something to do for lunch, head over there. If you're one of the people that works in downtown Charleston, you can be over there in almost no time at all.
And the things that we will serve, and they'll select it from the menu. I believe they'll be very happy. We have sugar-free ice cream, and of course we have all of our sweets are sweetened with stevia, and our muffins are so good that they're unbelievable. They were good at Patrick Street, but now they are 100% better than that, and that was great.
Good stuff. All right, Millie, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, dear. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Dave.
Now,
Appreciate it.
now you have a birthday coming up, don't you? Is it soon?
Yes, next month.
Okay. Will you be on with us before your birthday? What's the date of your birthday?
October 19th.
Okay, that'll be right around the time that you'll be on with us
Good,
next
and we
month.
can have a real celebration.
Yes.
The best part about turning 81
81, you will be.
is I don't look 81.
No, you don't look 81.
So I decided they must have lied to me. I think I was born in 52 instead of 42.
That's what I'm going to keep telling myself, too. All right, Millie Snyder from the Shape Shop. It's 923, 580 Live. Brought to you by Pinnacle Consultants. You know, we spend 90% of our time indoors, and our health risk for air pollution can be greater indoors than out of doors. Pinnacle Consultants, editorial comments here from Millie. Pinnacle Consultants, the only accredited commercial lab in West Virginia for asbestos and mold. Visit pinnaclecorp.net. Pinnaclecorp.net, because what you don't know can hurt you. Mike Pushkin, who will hurt you if given the opportunity, is coming up. I don't even know what that means. It's coming up next from the Parmar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group and the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
We are professional grade. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to enjoy more with Thornhill GM Superstore. And GMC is leading the way. Whether it's the rugged GMC Sierra pickup or the versatile GMC Acadia, Thornhill has a perfect GMC for you. Powerful, reliable, and comfortable truck. Then don't miss this opportunity to get the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can enjoy 0.9% APR financing plus $32.50 purchase allowance with an eligible trade. And that's not all. Take advantage of no monthly payments until 2024. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com. We are professional grade. Get more on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. For all offers through financial see Thornhill for all details.
At Pew Furniture Warehouse Showrooms, we are unloading truck after truck. Shipments of lift chairs, baby furniture, and I mean loads of baby furniture. Amish-made bedrooms and dining rooms. When buying Amish furniture, you can have it just the way you want. Our made in West Virginia Almost Heaven mattresses. Don't forget these mattresses are flippable. We also carry a good selection of power bases and hybrid mattresses. Check out our selection of sofas, reclining furniture, and sleeper sofas made here in the USA. We are offering an additional 10% off store-wide on the tagged price, excluding clearance items. Clearance area changes weekly. Buy it today and have it in your home tomorrow. We offer 12 months same as cash to qualified buyers. Pew Furniture Warehouse Showrooms, 1320 Smith Street, Charleston. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturday, 10 to 5, Sunday closed.
9:26 Wednesday. What that's, you know what that means. We'll be over at the Red Carpet Lounge, our sister station V100, over there every Wednesday for Working Women's Wednesday. Starts about 5 o'clock. Lots of great food and drink specials, prizes, and more. Jenny Murray, that is Matt Murphy, will be there as well with prizes. Working Women's Wednesday every Wednesday, 5 o'clock at the Red Carpet Lounge in Charleston. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-500. Wait, our good friend, State Democratic Party Chair and Delegate Mike Pushkin is here. Good morning, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I've not had enough coffee yet, so maybe I'll talk a little slower today.
Maybe. I always get lit up by people. They say I talk too fast, which is funny because I think too slow. So, but it comes out.
Well, one of these days, maybe it'll catch up.
It'll catch up.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I got to get this out of the way. My thoughts are.
I know.
Hold on.
Coming.
Hear me out here. My thoughts are with you and your beloved New York Jets following the loss of your quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. See, I watched Hard Knocks you and I've talked about. I'm a big fan of Hard Knocks, and I like Aaron Rodgers. I liked him in Green Bay, and I had high hopes for your New York Jets. I really thought that we would see a Jets-Cowboys Super Bowl, and I'm not saying that just because hope springs eternal for Cowboy fans. The Cowboys are a pretty darn good football team.
The Cowboys are probably and it pains me to say this.
Yeah.
But I'm a football fan. I watch a lot. I watch that entire game. I watch other games. Dallas Cowboys are probably right now, in this snapshot in time, they are the best team in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
And it's largely because of Micah Parsons.
It is. The guy is. It's like he's 5 steps ahead of everybody. He's so
you can't block him.
Yeah.
And he just they call him the game wrecker, and we had no answer to Micah Parsons, and also our defense was not playing up to their billing. We have what people think is a top 5 defense, and they were unable to stop the Cowboys on offense all day. So if you can't can't take the offense off the field, and you can't block Micah Parsons, and you're in for a long day. And I think you might see a lot of that. Of course, until it gets later, and it's early in the season.
It is.
So we'll see what happens with both
Dallas
teams.
plays Arizona this week, and the Cowboys always have a way to lose these games that they shouldn't lose, and they play Arizona this week, so we'll see what happens.
They're not losing that game.
Well, you just never know. It is Dallas. And as far as them being the best team, and even in the NFC, there's a team in San Francisco that might have something to say about that. But
they're good.
I'm happy. I'm happy with it. All right,
I don't like the Cowboys. It pains me to say this, but as in the first 2 weeks, they are the best team.
Yeah. I want to get your take on this. We got plenty of things we want to get to, and also give me a chance to promote something that we have going on tonight, and that is this high school transfer rule. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say tonight, because on Wednesday nights we have a show, the Metro News High School Sports Line. All 2 hours of the show are going to be devoted to talking about this transfer rule. And I've talked about it a lot on the show. I've had people actually on both sides of the aisle, no pun intended, on both sides of the argument. This was passed by the legislature, and the governor didn't sign it. He didn't sign it. But a lot of people are upset about it, Michael. They're saying that this is ruining high school sports in West Virginia. Other people are saying, hey, as a parent, I should have the right to send my kid wherever I want without penalty. Where are you on this high school transfer rule?
I definitely see both sides of it, because it was attached to another bill. It was attached to a bill that I didn't think was fair. Okay, and saying that if you pull your children out of school, and then of course the money follows them because of this voucher system that the Republican legislature has created and the governor signed. But if you pulled them out, you could then send them to participate in any other extracurricular activities at any of these schools. And that's what was referred to as school choice. I just feel that if we're going to be fair, if we're going to have school choice, it needs to be. If you're going to have it, it should be for everybody. Mm-hmm. I do think it will balance out. I mean, the best from what I've seen, I've watched some high school football this year. Huntington High is by far the best team that I've seen, and they don't have very many transfers. They just have a very good program that they've built up. But maybe because of the proximity to Marshall University, they have a good football team, a college football team in town there that they're able to train on those facilities. I don't know. Well, for whatever reason, they've got a very good team with very few transfers. And then you see a team like Hurricane, who has a whole lot of transfers, a lot from here in Kanawha County. Well, they came up to GW last week and lost.
Yeah.
So I do think it could balance out. But now, I'll tell you what bothered me most of all about the entire issue is that was the longest debate that we had in the House of Delegates last session. It was about high school sports. That was more important than raising insurance premiums on public employees. That was more important and so many other issues.
And I'll say this, and I'm like you, Mike. I am a hardcore sports fan. I love high school sports as well. But I will say this: as many people that are upset about this high school transfer rule, I wish they would be that upset about low test scores. I wish they would be that upset about problems in the school. And again, I'm speaking as a sports fan, but man, I would love to see people light up social media about chronic absenteeism. Hoppy did a big feature on that this week. We got kids missing 18, 20 days of school a year. That's a big problem. All the teachers' unions and everybody's talking about that. I'd like to see people so upset about that. In addition to the high school transfer.
It's rare that I'll say this, but we're in complete agreement on that. That's what people should be focused on. A very, very small percentage, unfortunately, very small percentage of our high school athletes are going to play in the next level.
Yeah, I mean, they're done after high school.
There's a few who do get scholarships, and that's great, and they should focus on their education when they do that, because even less from that percentage are going to make it as professionals. So we should be more focused on academics.
All right. So yesterday, the governor, Mike, announced that Hollis Lewis will complete the term of now former Delegate Doug Scaff, who resigned earlier this month. Programming note: Delegate Hollis Lewis will be on the show tomorrow. Your thoughts on the Hollis Lewis appointment?
I think that was an excellent choice by the governor. I'm proud to call Hollis Lewis, soon to be delegate, as soon as he gets sworn in, Delegate Hollis Lewis. I'm proud to call him a friend. He is a great guy. He's a family guy. He's involved with youth sports. He's a former magistrate. He teaches classes over at West Virginia State. I think he used to work for the Charleston Area Alliance. Very well-rounded individual, and he will be a great addition to the Democratic caucus in the House of Delegates. I look forward to serving with him.
Your thoughts on Doug Scaff stepping down?
Well, I think, Doug said he was stepping down to focus on business and family. I imagine it would be difficult to run HD media and as well as serve the public in the House of Delegates. And I've enjoyed, Doug is also a very good friend. I've enjoyed my time serving with Doug, and I wish him the best. And for some reason, I don't think we've seen the last.
Oh, no, you haven't.
Scaff. But Doug's a good guy. I've enjoyed serving with him. He was our minority leader for a couple of sessions. And, I don't have enough good to say about him. But I'm also really looking forward to working with Hollis. So,
I don't know whether
win-win.
Because the decision is made. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, when we appoint someone, when someone steps down, the county executive committee submits names to the governor. Is that right?
They submit 3 names.
Okay. Well, somebody asked the question: who were the other names that were submitted?
The other names that were submitted by the Kanawha County, not the state party, but the Kanawha County Democratic Executive Committee, as well as, of course, I believe Hollis Lewis had the most votes in that committee meeting, but also an attorney in town named Alex Urban and a former state Senate candidate Sam Wood.
Okay, all right.
So
Hollis Lewis is the new delegate, or will be, I guess, when he's sworn in. He'll be on the show tomorrow. Tex says the issue is not with the scores; it's the number of transfers occurring. South Charleston has lost 6 players. Chances are they were skill players, and losing that many is devastating. 43 football transfers in Kanawha County.
Well, I think it's an issue that most likely is going to be addressed in the next session.
It will be.
It will be.
What I'm here. Now, last week, Mike, I had Senator Amy Grady on the show. And she's one of the ones that doesn't have a problem. She wants to hear all sides, but she doesn't have a problem with it. She didn't think it's going to go very far in the legislature. Now, the other, I know Delegate Dana Farrell was one that was really, really beating the drum against this thing. Senator Grady doesn't think that it's going to go very far in the legislature next year.
And hurricanes in her district, correct?
Well, no, not really. Well,
yeah,
okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I get that sometimes I have a tendency to get the House and the Senate mixed up as far as the district goes. But that's,
I was kidding. I don't think that's what has affected it. No, Look, the Republican legislature for years has been calling what they call school choice, really, and much of those policies have just been detrimental to public education in general. And I don't believe it's about school choice. For them, it's about school choice for some. Okay. Now, this bill expanded that, and people are not happy with the results. But I tell you the truth, I'm not happy with the results of many of these quote unquote school choice laws that have been passed over the years, whether it's the privatization of public funds and creating these corporate charter schools with absolutely no regulation or any kind of oversight over them, whether it's taking money out of the public school system and this voucher system that they call Hope Scholarships that has just been detrimental to public schools, or just the horrible disrespect and mistreatment of our public school teachers. That we're losing in droves, especially to neighboring states that treat their teachers better. So I think it's been an ongoing attack on public education that's going on over the years, and it seems that people are just now really paying attention to it because it's affecting Friday night football scores.
Text says Pushkin states Scaff is a good guy. I wonder if Pushkin will change his tune when Scaff goes Republican.
He's a good. We'll still be friends no matter what. I mean, no matter what. There's things that are more important than politics, believe it or not. And that's a rumor. I have plenty of friends who, on the other side of the aisle, I disagree with them on policy issues. But I can still be friends with people that I disagree with. And right now, and Doug resigned as a Democrat, and he was replaced by a Democrat, and he's still a Democrat.
I continue to hear that he's going to run for Secretary of State, and I think that he will. That's what I'm thinking. I have no insight.
I don't think he's made his mind up yet, and he can come on and announce.
He said it would be sometime probably in October
when he does, but I don't believe he's made up his mind yet. I think he's weighing all options, but I believe him when he says he's focusing on his business and his family. He's got young children, and he's got a business to take care of.
580 Live brought to you in part by General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. Get with them for a quote before you start your project. If you're tired of sorting through a bunch of crooked boards, get with General Hardware and Lumber. They have the straight quality lumber you're looking for with great pricing and the service you expect from a locally owned business. General Hardware and Lumber of Winfield. We're going to get we got some news with the governor to get to, and we're going to get to that next with Delegate and State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin. Your phone calls are welcome. Biggly Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Fruit Pharmacy text 304-935-5008. From the Par-Mar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
We are professional grade. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to enjoy more with Thornhill GM Superstore, and GMC is leading the way. Whether it's the rugged GMC Sierra pickup or the versatile GMC Acadia, Thornhill has a perfect GMC for you. Powerful, reliable, and comfortable truck? Then don't miss this opportunity to get the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can enjoy 0.9% APR financing plus $3,250 purchase allowance with an eligible trade. And that's not all. Take advantage of no monthly payments until 2024. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com. We are professional grade. Get more on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville. For all offers through financial, see Thornhill for all details.
Unsure you're ready for retirement? That's understandable. After all, you only retire once. Make the smart choice and call 4th Avenue Financial. If it deals with retirement planning, you can be confident they have the experience you need. Retire right with 4th Avenue Financial. Go to 4thavenuefinancial.com or call 304-746-7977 to book your free introductory meeting today.
Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Incorporated, JW Cole Financial, JW Cole Advisors, and 4th Avenue Financial are unaffiliated entities.
Thanks to advancements in research and treatment methods, men diagnosed with prostate cancer have more options and resources available to them than ever before. If you have been diagnosed with prostate cancer, talking to a physician to learn more about the disease and treatment options is an important first step. You have many choices, and getting a second opinion will help you make the right decision for you. To find out more about CAMC Radiation Oncology and our prostate cancer treatment options, please call 304-337-5579. That's 304-337-5579, or visit our website at camcradiationoncology.com to learn more. The content of this radio spot should not be interpreted as medical advice. Always consult with a healthcare professional for appropriate medical guidance and care.
20 minutes away from 10, 580 Live, brought to you part by QC Kinetics. If you're tired of dealing with pain in your knees, your hips, your shoulders, or your back, get relief without surgery, drugs, or downtime. Call QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes for a free consultation, 304-202-5566 for QC Kinetics of Huntington and Cross Lanes. Delegate and State Democratic Party Chair Mike Pushkin is with us this morning. Got this just before I went on the air, Michael.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. I needed a breaking news sounder here. But a release came out that West Virginia State Finance Chairman, that would be Eric Tarr, endorses Alex Mooney.
Wow.
For Senate. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but basically says, I strongly endorse Alex Mooney for the U.S. Senate. American families, fundamental values, children, constitutional freedoms under attack. Now more than ever, Republicans need to send conservatives to the Senate. Skipping ahead here, Jim Justice says Eric Tarr in the release propelled himself to popularity via marketing and no substance, much like Budweiser parading Spuds McKenzie while aligning themselves against American values. Jim Justice directed attention to his dog while he surrounded himself and polluted the governor's office with the political team of Joe Manchin. Some of the comments made in a press release by Senate Finance Chair Eric Tarr. Your thoughts?
So Senator Tarr compared Jim Justice to Spuds McKenzie?
Apparently, yeah. Well, I guess to Budweiser for putting
for using a dog
using a dog in over substance, according to Senator Tarr.
Using a dog over substance. Yeah. Well, earlier in the show, I found myself in agreement with you that academics are more important than athletics when it comes to secondary education, and I'm finding myself partially in agreement with Senator Tarr, who I don't agree with on anything, but I definitely don't agree that Alex Mooney has any business in the U.S. Senate, but he's favoring him over Jim Justice. And I don't think that Governor Justice is up to the task of representing West Virginia in the United States Senate. And you can just, look at the front page of the Gazette today. They're talking about his properties being auctioned off on courthouse steps all over southern West Virginia.
Doug Scaff would be happy. I have a copy of it here.
Southern West Virginia is in bad shape right now, and that's affecting county governments and their ability to serve people, their ability to perform basic services for people. The fact that our governor refuses to pay property taxes.
And let me jump in here. This was a story by Mike Toney in the Gazette Mail this morning. Nearly 300 Jim Justice properties were auctioned off. They owed almost $400,000 in delinquent taxes. They went up for public sale in auctions in June. Roughly 95% of those properties sold to other buyers for just over $500,000. That is according to a Gazette Mail review of the auditor's office data. That story in the HD Media's Charleston Gazette Mail from Mike Toney this morning.
So then that's issues with the governor's his personal businesses that he never put in a blind trust. He's still running his businesses, and you hear about fines and taxes owed, and not paying premiums for his coal miners. There are those personal issues, but also on as far as being in public service. And I've said it many times, but it's true. Every single aspect of state government is either failing or in complete chaos, or just in a complete culture of toxicity under Governor Justice. And the most recent example, yesterday's front page headline on the Gazette was about problems over the Department of Transportation, where the governor's handpicked Secretary of Transportation has refused
Jimmy Riston.
He refused to remove himself, to recuse himself from the bidding process when they were giving out very large contracts to a contractor that employs his son. That's illegal, and we've known about this for quite some time, but now it's just now coming out because, and this is the part that's really troubling, because they knew it was illegal. The governor's office knew it was illegal and tried to hide it and refused to respond to Freedom of Information Act requests. And I know it gets a bit. Maybe I don't know why nobody's talking about this. Maybe because it's a little bit.
I guarantee you, Alex Mooney's campaign is going to be talking about it.
People should be talking about it because it's illegal, and it's more than just an appearance of impropriety when you are the one making decisions of where public funds go, and you decide to give it to a contractor that employs your son.
It's going to be brought out in the campaign, and I tell you,
it was brought out in the paper yesterday.
But it's going to be brought out by a whole lot more people, I think. But not only by Alex Mooney's people, but also I think by a lot of political. I mean, because Justice is miles ahead in the poll right now. We know that.
The FOIA's, the Freedom of Information Act request. That's when a journalist, whoever asks, the state to provide this information, and they're required to. Mm-hmm. They ignore it, and when they do get around to doing it, well, I think they had to be sued over this one. I believe the Gazette reporter had to sue for this information, which they shouldn't have to do in the United States of America. They sue for the information, and then what they get a lot of times has a misrepresentation of facts, which I personally, a very easy way to call it would be a lie, a misrepresentation of the facts that they get when they do respond to these Freedom of Information Act requests. It's going to be a problem, and there's a whole mess of problems that are coming from that department that I'm hearing about from the Department of Transportation, and that's just one of the completely chaotic, toxic departments under Governor Jim Justice. You have the DHHR, which has been a complete mess. You have Homeland Security, where we have the National Guard having to staff our prisons. Every single aspect of state government right now just in complete disarray under his watch, and now he wants to be in the Senate.
Going back to the charter school issue, text says there's an entire board that's appointed by the governor to provide oversight to charter schools.
Yeah, that's picked by the governor, and a lot of people
boards are,
and it was handpicked of people who've been proponents of charter schools the entire time, and there's been very little oversight of that.
Well, one thing I
can appoint a board of foxes to be in charge of the hen house. How about that?
promo, Ryan. So I have to tell you that yesterday I heard some part of an interview with Dale Lee from the West Virginia Education Association on with Hoppy yesterday, and they were talking about this chronic absenteeism, which, that's a major problem for another show, and Hoppy's covered it in detail. But he was also talking about charter schools, and I have not seen the data on this. I'll go back and look at it, but it talked about that the scores for charter schools in West Virginia weren't as good as what people thought they would be.
That's not surprising. It's not surprising.
And I'll do a deep dive into those on a later show. But you're not a fan of charter schools at all.
No, I'm a fan of improving the public schools that we have. I think that education is the great equalizer in our society, and everybody has a shot of improving their lives, and everybody has a shot at the American dream if they just go to school, study, do your work. But we got to make sure they have great public schools. For free public schools for all the children to attend.
I find it, I'm very happy to hear you say that, because you said something there that not a lot of Democrats, not a lot of liberal Democrats across America will say. You said everybody has a shot at the American dream. There's a certain mindset in this country, Mike, that says that not everybody does have a shot at the American dream.
Maybe you're getting your definition of Democrats from the wrong news source. But of course we believe in the American dream.
But
and of course we love this country.
I never doubted that.
Well, I never doubted the results of an election. Okay, I never.
Nor did I, for that matter.
Well, I've never, condoned people storming the U.S. Capitol. But no, we love this country, and for it to be portrayed anyway else is just not true.
Text says TARS supports Mooney ? Shocker. Text says, breaking news, Senator Tarr endorses a candidate who's credibly accused of stealing campaign and tax money. The Office of Congressional Ethics says probable cause to believe Mooney misappropriated funds. Why does the finance chair overlook financial misdeeds? Tarr is too invested in the genitalia of others to know what's right. Well, invested in the genitalia.
I don't even want to comment on that.
How about I do this?
But I will agree that both of the Republican front runners for U.S. Senate are incredibly flawed candidates, and the texter is right. Alex Mooney was under investigation before the Republicans took control of the House, I believe, but he was under investigation for misspending campaign finance money. on Chick-fil-A and expensive
on the
trips
Lord's
for his
chicken.
family. Now, I would like to know more about the governor's campaign finance reports, but he fails. He refuses. As last I checked, he refuses to report on his campaign.
So when are we going to see a difference?
Just like he refuses to pay taxes, he refuses to pay fines, he refuses to pay the insurance benefits for insurance premiums for his minors. He refuses to follow, or he doesn't follow the rules when it comes to some of the recent appointments that he's made. He doesn't follow the rules, and he's not following the campaign finance rules.
580 Live brought to you by Huston's Pizza. This month, get yourself a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a stromboli. Only $22.99. Visit HustonsPizza.com for details. Text says, there's no way on God's green earth that justice could possibly be less capable of performing the duties of representing the people of West Virginia than Fester Fetterman.
Well,
you can't get the guy to wear a suit and tie. Come on, man.
I think that he's doing a fine job. I'm not going to comment on his wardrobe choices personally. I have no problem putting on a suit when I have to, but on a day like today, when I'm just talking to you on the radio, I'm wearing a Grateful Dead T-shirt.
Well, that's nothing wrong. Texter says Putnam County continues to be an attractive place for people from Kanawha County to come to. They've been leaving wacky Kanawha for years and coming to quiet, conservative, family-oriented Putnam County. Even the student athletes want out of Kanawha, according to a texter.
Well, are they living there, or are they just playing football there?
Well, there's a lot of people living there. I can tell you. I live there, and there are more people coming daily.
People are moving there, but I'm wondering if the student athletes that are playing for Putnam County high schools, are their families moving? It's a legitimate question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they moving there, or are they just commuting for sports?
There's a whole lot of people moving there because of Nucor. I can tell you that.
Yeah, well, that's great. And it was all done because of the Inflation Reduction Act.
Not all.
Mostly called the infrastructure bill that created the infrastructure around the facility, which was bipartisan. But let's face it, President Trump couldn't get it done.
Well, let me ask you this about that, and then we got to go to break, because this was a point I thought that was really good that was brought up by Mitch Carmichael not long ago on Hoppy. He was talking about that infrastructure bill. And yes, I mean, I'm one that admits that a lot of these things we're seeing in West Virginia were because of that. Okay, I agree with that. However, but they're choosing because of the bill.
Which bill? The infrastructure bill or the Inflation Reduction Act, or both?
I think it's a combination of both. I really do. And I agree
and
with
how
that.
many Republicans voted for the Inflation Reduction Act?
But why did they choose West Virginia, though? Because all 50 states and the territories were in the running. Why are they choosing, Mike, West Virginia? Mm-hmm. Why are they choosing West Virginia? Is it because right to work? Is it because we have a better workers' compensation system? Is it because of any of these things? Why are they choosing West Virginia over Montana? I don't believe it's because of,
if you look at states that don't have these anti-labor laws like right to work, they're generally doing a lot better. And the other states are actually also getting a huge amount of investment. There's actually a lot more. Recently I went on this, I was part of this group. We were learning more about how to rebuild parties. And the chair of the Pennsylvania Democratic Party was there, and he was talking about all the growth that's going on right on the other side of the border. Mm-hmm. We had the chair of the Maryland or the executive director of the Maryland Democratic Party. He was telling me about all the growth that's going on right on the other side of the border. So they're not just choosing West Virginia. We're getting a good part of it, and a lot of that has to do with our senior senator, Senator Manchin, was the one that helped write the bill.
9:53, 580 Live, brought to you part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. You're invited to come check out the Down and Dirty Music Festival at Gilmart Ballpark, October the 14th and 15th. For tickets, for more information, visit downanddirtymusicfestival.com. We're back after this from the Parmar Store Studio, 580 Live, brought to you by the Thornhill Auto Group on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses care for your family.
Why they need a big law firm after their injury. Imagine you're on your way to work, and then bam, your whole life changes. Life can be shattered in a moment. When that happens, know that America's largest injury law firm is here for you. When it comes to law, size matters. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia.
Elevators. You take them for granted until they let you down. If you're working to maintain a stellar reputation, then let me introduce you to DC Elevator. We want to work with you to make sure your people get where they are going. What could be better than a new company coming to the area and already having 45 years of experience? DC Elevator is bringing a new culture of elevator maintenance, repairs, modernization, and installation to West Virginia. Don't leave your people hanging. For a free consultation, call DC Elevator at 304-345-7222.
The Hudson's Pizza September Special, a largest large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a stromboli for just $22.99. Find your local Hudson's for dine-in, pickup, or delivery at Hudson'sPizza.com.
We are professional grade. Hey, it's Sydney inviting you to enjoy more with Thornhill GM Superstore, and GMC is leading the way. Whether it's the rugged GMC Sierra pickup or the versatile GMC Acadia, Thornhill has a perfect GMC for you. Powerful, reliable, and comfortable truck. Then don't miss this opportunity to get the 2023 GMC Sierra 1500. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can enjoy 0.9% APR financing plus $32.50 purchase allowance with an eligible trade. And that's not all. Take advantage of no monthly payments until 2024. Click or come by ThornhillGMSuperstore.com. We are professional grade. Get more on the Thornhill Motor Mile, US 119 Chapmanville.
Trust the nation's most recognized newsroom for comprehensive election coverage. From local to statewide and national elections, 580 WCHS brings you up-to-the-minute updates, analysis, and results. Be part of the democratic process on 580 WCHS.
955 580 Live, brought to you part by Meeks Realty Group, where trust and efficiency are the cornerstones of their service. Meeks offers years of experience in both residential and commercial real estate with results that will exceed your expectations. At Meeks, it's about more than the agreement. Your real estate transaction is a part of your dreams and goals. When you go with Meeks, you're not just getting real estate expertise, you're getting a partner you can rely on for a lifetime of successful investments. Call 304-401-1101 or visit Meeks.us. Text says Inflation Reduction Act had nothing to do with Nucor coming here. They were coming way before that was ever discussed. These projects are coming here after getting conservatives in after many years of Democratic rule. Was it 70 or 80 years of mismanagement? Nucor was in the works before this act was passed.
I disagree, but that pushed them over the edge there, and because there was a lot of investment into that type of, and Nucor is a green company, and there was a lot of investment in that type of energy.
But this was in the works, though. But you're saying it's what pushed it over.
It was also, I think, one of the main things by Nucor though was actually the inflation. I'm sorry, was the infrastructure bill that President Biden was able to do in his first 2 years in office, because they were able to use that to create what was needed around the plant to attract that company.
There's a whole lot.
Had that not happened, we wouldn't have gotten Nucor.
There's a whole lot of things going on around that plant. If you've been down in Apple Grove lately and the surrounding areas as well, Mike, when are we going to see some Democratic candidates start rolling out? We had yesterday State Senator Rich Lindsay on the show. He announced he'll be running for circuit judge in Kanawha County. We know that your friend Steve Williams, the mayor of Huntington, is going to be running for governor of the Democratic ticket. When are we going to see for some of these other races?
We are working on. Of course, the filing period is in January, and it's what we spend a good part of our days working on, or calling prospective candidates, calling members of county committees, because they know who the best candidates are for different offices in their neck of the woods. And we are definitely having a lot of conversations and getting more and more commitments. And in coming months, you will hear more options for voters. But I would just say, there's a lot of people that I've talked to who are fairly fed up with a lot of this nearly a decade of Republican rule, with a tax on public education, attempts to pull money out of our public schools, a tax on higher education, where they've consistently been underfunding higher education. Now we're seeing the results of it with faculty being laid off, courses of study being cut, different majors being cut, people who are upset with seeing our flagship university just being completely dismantled and destroyed. We're seeing people who are upset with the ongoing attacks on workers. You mentioned the state being a right-to-work state, with the repeal of prevailing wage that the Republicans did years ago, making it so tough jobs like building bridges and roads, people get paid less. There are people who are fed up with the fact that we've got 8,000 children in foster care, and the Republican legislature and governor have not done anything to address it. So I would suggest to some of these folks who are fed up with these backwards Republican policies that are driving people out of this state in droves, put your name on the ballot, run for office. Let's do something about it. Let's fight back.
How difficult is it, though? And I'm not picking on the Democrats, because this is where the Republican Party was, for 80 years. But how difficult is it to get people to sign up right now to want to run because they know that their chances aren't that great, Mike. And again, this is where the Republicans were years ago. 20 seconds.
It is much more difficult to recruit to run in the minority party than it is in the majority party. But we're never going to stop fighting because the people deserve choices, and you know what? The people deserve a better government. The people deserve a government that works for them, and it's not working for them right now under Governor Justice. Every single aspect of state government is failing. It's just not working right now. So I suggest that if you're as mad as I am, join us. Fight back. We'll fight with you.
All right, we got to go. Phone calls to 580 Live, a service of Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly. Texting service provided by Fruit Pharmacy, your hometown family pharmacy. Hoppy, coming up. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM, W243DRFM Charleston, and W283AQ Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.